Hi, so here we are at the screen where we talk about Houston Blue Santa. So what happens is that the Houston Police Department will do a program where they provide toys to financially struggling families, and so then the kids get the opportunity for having a normal Christmas. And it's just this lovely program that they have set up, and they do every year. If you go here, houstonbluesanta.org, there's the opportunity to volunteer and donate, and you can read about their history here and the mission. And we donate every year, and just are very excited to kind of like share the magic of the season. So moving on, the next one is the Facebook Next Generation Social Network, and so it's called MeWe.com. And I wanted to suggest this. I've tested it out. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'll be creating a referee PAC page for that, and I'll include the links below. And so give it a test and see if you like it, because Facebook obviously has abused our trust more times than we can count, and I don't think that it's necessarily on a good track even now. All right, so then the next news update that I wanted to give you was about student election clerks. So one of the issues that occurs every year is that we want to get people involved in voting as soon as they are adults. And the student election clerk is an opportunity to get that across, which is very exciting. And so it's less scary. It's actually quite, exciting at first, and then you get into the pattern. And so it's an opportunity that so few kids are able to take advantage of, but it's there, and they can hire a number of clerks to do this. So here are the required, you've got some information on this particular page. That's the Secretary of State, state.texas.us, elections pamphlets, and this is student election clerk information, SECI.SH.TML. And so they can tell you about who the student election workers are. They're at least 16 years of age, up to 17, and obviously at 18 they should be voting, and they can work as a regular election clerk at that point. The benefits, you can see, it's the experience that they get. And then they need to be responsible kids, so you want somebody that's going to do a good job. And so one of the things that they need to do is get consent of his or her school principal. If they're homeschooled, then it would be their parent or legal guardian. And there's also election worker training. Whenever I first got experience on election worker work, it was right there at the polling location, so it wasn't a really big deal. And the application is here online, and you can contact the Harris County registrar for that information. So if you go to harrisvotes.com, you can you can see that information. Did I do 3 R's? I did 3 R's. There we go. harrisvotes.com. Then you can get the information there by calling and saying, hey, you're interested in working as an election clerk. Okay, so then next we have the runoffs that are going on. So if you go to refereepac.org, and let's do time frame first, because this is very important. Put in your schedule that you've got a runoff coming up. And so, for example, in December, on the 14th is Election Day, right there on Saturday. And so I'm fairly certain that early voting should start on the 2nd, but it might be a different day. But in either case, these 2 weeks up until Election Day, there should be early voting. Okay, and so also because it's on a Saturday, that is a perfect opportunity for student election workers to get some experience without losing any school. Haha. So if you go to our website, refpac.org, you have the Texas voting information. Go to Harris County, and you will see City of Houston Mayor, City of Houston Council races, and the Houston Community College System. They all have runoffs. So if you click on this, you can get information on the runoff. So for example, this one's between Mayor Turner and Tony Busby. And then if you go to the City of Houston Council races, you can see everyone that's running off in here. And so the runoff candidates will be in this separate part. So District A has a runoff, District B, District C, District D. District D was decided. District F, District G was decided. District H has a runoff. District I was decided. District J has a runoff. K was decided. At-large Position 1 has a runoff. At-large Position 2 has a runoff. Position 3 has a runoff, Position 4 has a runoff, and so there's basically votes for, at this, the full ballot at this point. Okay, there's also, for the Houston Community Colleges, there are runoffs there. And they only list the District 2 runoff here, but there's also the District 1 runoff, which is between Ms. Rickard and Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, he was living in another district and then decided to run in District 1, and I am not clear on how he can do that, because you're supposed to live in your district for at least 6 months, and you can't be on the board if you're in another district. If you leave the district that you're living in, you're not supposed to be on the board in that district. So I don't know what Mr. Wilson is doing, but it's very squirrely, and so I would suggest looking into that more. Okay, so that's the update. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below, and thank you for tuning in.